VENUM. Welcome to The Void. This is episode 39. Check the video description below this video. There you'll find links to my full network. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so, and click that bell to enable notifications. It's the only way to be notified when a new video is uploaded. So today, I'm doing a very tired, very Wendy Chu review of All Elite Wrestling Dynamite, Wednesday Night Dynamite Beach Break from January 26, 2022. And it would appear to me that AEW Dynamite has no direction. Watching the show week upon week, it just feels like a bunch of stuff's happening, and you don't really get a clear sense of where we're heading. And that's troubling. Their next pay-per-view is Revolution. I'm not even sure when that is. It just feels like the program week on week isn't building to anything or anywhere. So, a directionless Wednesday night product. But let's get started from the top. It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. Good old JR welcomes us. They were live from Cleveland, Ohio. This episode opened up on a shot of two TNT Championship belts hanging high above the ring. And Cody Rhodes and Sammy Guevara were just already out there. They were just already out there, so what the hell? Why don't we, like I work there, why doesn't this company value the aura that is added to the wrestlers by giving them an entrance on TV? There's going to be, a handful of people watching this for the first time, and what they get to see is just people have just appeared in the ring. It's bizarre. The announcer announced both guys, and so the show's going to start off with a ladder match to determine the undisputed TNT champion right here on TBS. We're having this match right here on TBS. So this is just already just what in the flying tongue-tying tummy tuck. Just, if you remember, the only reason they even have an interim TNT champion is because Cody Rhodes missed a week. He missed 1 week, and they couldn't just wait for him to come back. They had to crown an interim champion as soon as possible. Bizarre. This whole thing is bizarre. So this match got underway, a ladder match with two belts hanging above the ring to determine the undisputed TNT championship here on TBS. At one point, they brawled to the outside and they were fighting in the crowd because, you know how ladder matches go. And Sammy did a cutter on the concrete floor, and the move looked even stupider on the floor because Sammy looked like he didn't want to actually land back first on the floor for real. So the move looked even stupider. During this match, Scorpio Sky and Dan Lambert were shown watching on from somewhere. I don't know. So they're still just skulking about or whatever. There was sitting there watching this thing, and they're just doing stuff. They're just doing spots and sequences. There was a very well done stalled superplex from about 2 or 3 rungs down from the top of a ladder. Cody delivered it to Sammy. Very nice stalling superplex off the top of the ladder to the mat there inside the ring. There was, at one point, Cody took a ladder and turned it upside down. So the ladder is upside down, legs turned upward, and the support beam that makes it like an A-frame, he took Sammy Guevara and front suplexed him onto those supports, and the ladder kind of closed in on him, and it was just like, what are they going for here? It was just a very nasty looking spot. Later on, the people really came alive for a ladder jump springboard cutter that Sammy did. He started off in standing on the top rope, right? So Cody's on the ladder, and there's a smaller ladder in between them. Sammy's standing on the top rope. He jumps to the top of a ladder and then propels himself and gives Cody a cutter whilst Cody was standing on a ladder. So the crowd came alive for that. That was the timing on that was executed well. It's still just another cutter, which I'm not a fan of. Oh, cutter! It's a stupid looking move. And so, boom, big pop for that. These guys did a lot. They did a lot, and this match went on for a bit. I think went on about 25 minutes or so. It's always a little weird to see like referees like sliding in on their bottom rope and like steadying the base of the ladders while the guys are attempting some dangerous stuff. They're doing some dangerous nonsense up the top of these ladders, and referees are down at the bottom steadying the ladder. It's always a bit nonsense looking, but you can kind of overlook that. Partway through this match, old Fuego del Sol, remember him? He comes out of nowhere for no reason. He looked like they took a 7th grader and put a mask on him, and he had wrestling tights. It's just bizarre looking. I'm not sure why he was out there, what he was doing, but Cody Rhodes just gave him a double underhook pile driver for his troubles, and I was like, thank God. Thank God. Why was he even there? There was another really just nasty looking spot where Sammy did a swanton bomb off of the top of a really tall ladder, and Cody was laying horizontal on a ladder bridge. That's a ladder that's laying horizontal. One end is sitting on the ring apron, and the other end is sitting on the crowd barricade. So Cody's laying on that. Sammy does a swanton bomb onto Cody off the top of a really tall ladder, and the ladder didn't give, and Sammy just looked like he just whiplashed himself off the ladder. Looked really nasty. That's a good way to get all kinds of stingers, and his back. He's gonna feel his back in the morning after that one for sure. It was very nasty looking. Sammy eventually won this. He and Cody are fighting at the top of the ladder, and Sammy grabs the thing that's holding up both belts and just smacks Cody in the face with it. Cody falls to the earth, and Sammy unhooks both titles. The match overall was fine. If you like matches where a lot of stuff happens but doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense, then you might have enjoyed this. To me, it was just like they might as well have had a guy with a megaphone go, okay, now we're going to do a swanton off the top of a ladder. Boom, do it. Both guys get back up. Now we're going to put so-and-so through a table. Boom, then they get back up. Now we're going to do a double jump cutter. That might as well have been what this match was, because they were just doing, like, there was no registering of the pain. They just did a bunch of spots that they had planned, and they just went through it, and in between there was nothing to even make you believe that this was a contest going on. They were just doing moves and spots. After that, there was a weird interview with Tony Schiavone, Ricky Starks, and Powerhouse Hobbs, where I'm not sure if just because it's beach break, that they were like, oh, let's go find a beach, even though we're in Cleveland and it's friggin' January. So they were at a snow-covered beach for a miserable looking outdoor interview, and it was just like, They each said a few words. I think Ricky Starks threatened Jay Lethal of all people. And then it was just over. And it's like, why even do that? Why even, like, that didn't give you, beach vibes. So why even go shoot a interview there? It doesn't make sense. This was just a bizarre looking waste of time. They could have just done an interview backstage and it would have been just as effective, if not more effective, because they're out there shivering and talking about how cold it is. And it was just weird. It was weird. Why do that? Back in the arena, Wardlow made his entrance, and this is Wardlow's hometown, Cleveland. He got a decent reaction. He kind of, as he's making his entrance, he kind of motioned for Shawn Spears to stay back. It was going to be getting ready for a 2-on-1 handicap match, they said. When Wardlow got to the ring, two guys were already out there, which is fine. They're not contracted talent, so who cares? I'm familiar with the guy that was wearing red, James Alexander. He's the guy I've wrestled on the Florida Independent scene before. He's also done some work as an extra for WWE. Every now and then he pops up as a security guard or an EMT or some miscellaneous background character, or he wrestles on 205 Live. So that's James Alexander. Steady getting some little enhancement work, I see. Anyway, Wardlow powerbombed the life out of both of these men, and he won by powerbombing one guy on top of the other and then pinning both of them with his foot on their chest. So, we're back to that. Wardlow's just powerbombing people that don't matter to death, basically. And it's gotten stale. It's just the same thing over and over, and not particularly interested in seeing it anymore. There was this weird shot of, I guess kind of like a little, coming up tonight, Orange Cassidy and Adam Cole were on an actual nice warm-looking beach, and like they walked up to each other and just stood and looked each other face to face. It's like they shot this. They took these two hated rivalries They took these two rivals to a beach and filmed this just nonsense where they just walk up and look at each other. And it's like, well, why didn't they start fighting? They hate each other so much. I think they thought this would be cool. And it just was weird looking. It was just weird. Like, oh, it's beach break. We'll film something at a beach. Yeah, but it just looked weird. I've written here, the hell was that about? Just what was that about? So after that, we're back in the arena, and out comes Chris Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz to Judas blaring on the speakers, so Jericho could get his sing-along. At this point, I'm all but done with Chris Jericho. It's just like his stuff, everything he does on his program is just not good. It's just not good at all. And if it just didn't happen and he wasn't here, I don't think anybody would send AEW any letters. So when they got to the ring, Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz, Bad Buddy Garcia and 2.0 were just already out there. So this is 3 matches in a row, or at least one side of the equation has just not gotten an entrance whatsoever. The opening match, no one got an entrance. The second match, the Jobbers didn't get an entrance. And this is the third match where one half of the match just didn't get an entrance. So I guess this is their new thing now. They're adopting the WWE mentality where it's just like, let's not make people feel like they belong here. So Bad Buddy Garcia and 2.0, They're already out there. It's going to be a 6-man tag match or a trios match. And so the match got going. It's like the match was all about the drama amongst the inner circle. They're not getting on with Chris Jericho. The whole match, Santana and Ortiz were working around Jericho and like not tagging him in the match or whatever. It's just like I don't actually care, and I don't think anyone else does either. Don't actually care. Don't think anyone else does. This was just the match itself was fine, but the whole storyline around this is just dreadful. It's just awful. Towards the end of this, Jericho looks like he got frustrated and looked like he was going to walk out on his guys. But then he got involved in the finish, the finish of the match. Jericho missed a spinning back elbow. He wasn't supposed to miss it, but the guy was in the ring. Jericho went for the spinning back elbow, and to me, it looked like he just missed. And then Santana, the guy turned around and Santana gave him a pile driver. So Santana pile drivers whoever and actually won a match with a pile driver. That's refreshing. Usually when you see a pile driver in this company, the guy's kicking out at 2. But here it was the actual finish to the match. So that's refreshing. Usually you see guys doing pile drivers on aprons or off aprons through tables, and then the other guy just kicks out at 2. So here a pile driver actually finished a match. And then after that, there was a hype package for Adam Hangman Page versus Lance Archer, and they just come out of nowhere and say, oh, it's a Texas death match. Why? Exactly. Why? These two have been interacting for 2 weeks now, and all of a sudden, Texas death match, just for no reason. It's just weird. It's so bizarre. This is the AEW heavyweight champion, and it just feels like they have 2 TNT champions again. Just like there's no top guy. Adam Page doesn't feel like the world champion. And I don't think anyone's particularly interested in seeing him wrestle Lance Archer. And especially just out of nowhere. Like, the hell? After that, we were shown Tony Schiavone in a stairwell with Christian Cage and the Jurassic Experience on one side, and Matt Hardy and Private Party on the other side, and say, Private Party are the number 1 contenders. Since when? They're just strolled in out of the Federal Witness Protection Program, and now they're number 1 contenders. I've written here, nothing was accomplished. Back in the arena, CM Punk made his entrance. Okay, finally, I get some pro wrestling entertainment. Here comes CM Punk. Punk was dressed to compete. He comes down. He's got, I got my long boys on. How you doing, Cleveland? Unzips his hoodie. He still got MJF's scarf from last week. Punk mentioned how the scarf was cheap, like MF's personality. I got used to calling MJF MF because I don't do middle names, so MF. Punk said he's dressed to compete. He wants to fight MF tonight, right? So MF came out and just started running down Cleveland. He's talking crap on the people. And MF eventually accepted the challenge. It says, we're going to do it next week in Chicago. I wouldn't waste this match on Cleveland. It had a very decent, very interesting verbal exchange MF and CM Punk did. It went on for a bit, but kept your attention. Then eventually CM Punk said, "Oh, that's the difference between me and you. I get back up. I don't stay down. This, that, and the third. I don't quit." And MF said, "Oh, really?" And his goons came out, Wardlow and Spears and who else? FTR. So they all came out and just beat the crap out of Punk. They beat him down and left him laying. And I was like, man, CM Punk didn't have any friends here. I feel like a few weeks ago he had some friends, but now he doesn't, I guess. So they beat down CM Punk, left him laying, and MJF sat cross-legged style on CM Punk's chest and says, "Oh, you're not going to make it out of Chicago next week," or something he said. After that, we were backstage for an interview with Tony Schiavone, Griff Garrison, and Julia Hart. And in typical AEW fashion, before anybody said a word, Jade Cargill's manager walked in, Mark whatever his face. He says, "Oh, Cargill's chosen you, Julia Hart, to be her next opponent for the TBS title open challenge or whatever. But we need you to sign this release because of the eye patch or because of your eye or whatever." Julia Hart, by the way, is just wearing an eye patch for, I don't know why. I don't know why she's wearing an eye patch. Nothing happened to her eye. There's videographic proof of that. So she's just wearing an eye patch just, I guess, as a new look. Who knows? So Mark, whatever his face, says, "Oh, you got to sign this release." But then Griff Garrison jumped in and tried to warn Julia about just signing paperwork without reading or whatever. And Julia just snapped at him. Like, are they even cool anymore? She just snapped at, "Oh, don't you fight my battles for me," or whatever. And it's just like, why is she just suddenly being an awful bitch? So she just signed the paperwork without reading a single word on it. And they're going to have a match. Julia Hart versus Jade Cargill Friday on Rampage for the TBS Championship on TNT. Why are they just on purpose defending the titles with the network names in it on opposite? Because Rampage takes place on TNT, but they keep defending the TNT belt on Dynamite that takes place on TBS. I don't know. Who knows what's going on here? After that, we're back in the arena. Some 4'6" looking bitch made her entrance. Legit Layla, they said. Legit Layla came out. She's 4'6" and she's got thick thighs. Her opponent was Red Velvet Cake. Remember her? Red Velvet Cake, or Brandy Rhodes' sister. Brandy Rhodes' stunt double. Red Velvet Cake just comes out running down the ramp like she's already hot. And this thing started off lukewarm. I'm sitting here. I'm wondering, what is the history here? Have I missed something? Why is she coming out all hot? Do they... I don't know what's going on. This is probably something they're just trying to transplant from Dark that no one knows what's going on. This match just transpired in front of what I would describe as a funeral taking place inside of a library. The silence was deafening. It was so quiet in the building. I swear a couple times I heard the shutter on one of the ringside photographer's camera. Like you could hear the shutter going off. It was so quiet. The top rope in the ring is leveled with Legit Layla's lips. So if she turned and faced either of the ropes and just kept walking, she'd eventually kiss the top rope. This fucking match was brutal. It was brutal. The actual in-ring work was slightly below average, but man, oh man, nobody gave a single fuck. Crowd was just sitting there, just looking. People were going to the concession stand. This was just no interest in this match. Layla won somehow. I didn't even write down how. she won, and I I didn't pay attention to this very closely. After that, there was a video package for the House of Crack, the Crack House. So the House of Crack. This was kind of weird, wasn't it? They were in what appeared to be a void, with like a single spotlight, just darkness. I've written here, words were spoken, B-roll footage was shown, and I have no clue. I've got no clue. I don't know what any of this was about. No idea. So, old Malachi and Brody King, look out for them. They're saying stuff. They're saying spooky words in spooky locations. Who knows what's going on? That's the House of Crack. Back in the arena, Sammy Guevara came out with Fuego del Sol. Why are these two showing up on this program again? He's doing another one of his cue card toting mime routines. And Fuego's just out there assisting him for reasons. So they both cycle through a bunch of cue cards. And I don't know what any of them said. Because I'm not reading this. Because who cares? And then it was over and they just walked back up the entrance tunnel. So that was gay. So that was fucking gay. After that, Tony Schiavone was in ring with a table. It had some little plaques on it, awards of some description, and Tony introduced Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Britt Baker comes out. She gets in the ring. She starts talking. Tony Schiavone backs up into the far corner. Mind you, there's a table and two stand-up posters. Tony Schiavone backs up to the corner and is like hiding behind one of the posters. He's just, why was he even there? Why was he even there? So Britt's just monologuing. Tony Schiavone's in the back corner, barely in view. Britt's just monologuing. It turns out the awards were from some pro wrestling specific publication. You know, one of these online deals that just, they only write about pro wrestling, that most people have never heard of. Most, casual viewer would have never heard of this publication. So that kind of rendered all those awards irrelevant. Britt Baker just rambled on for what felt like an eternity and never got to any fucking point of any kind. I've written here, what was this about? She just talked, didn't mention any like upcoming opponents or any, just there was no point to this at all. No, there was no reason why this took place that I could discern. She just talked and then she left. Do you even realize that last week Britt Baker was knocked off the ring apron and fell through a table, and here she's just out there fine, nothing, she's good, and she's just talking about a bunch of nonsense, just rambling on and never got to any point. This show has no direction. No direction. Just stuff happens, and what does it mean? What's it all about? What's it all about? The next thing I paid attention to, Vicky Guerrero came out yelling, "Excuse me." And Nyla Rose, both her and Vicky Guerrero, who we had all assumed were inducted into the Federal Witness Protection Program, but it appears they're out now. They've been released on their own recognizance. So Nyla Rose said, "Oh, it's Ruby Soho's fault that she's not TBS champion. And she wants a match with Ruby Soho." And it's like, well, how late is this? How late are you? The tournament ended a while ago. You're still hot about the tournament that ended weeks, maybe a month ago? It's like, it feels like this was supposed to happen 2-3 weeks ago. Now she's hot. Oh, Ruby Soho, we got an issue. And it's like, that tournament was so way long ago. This is rubbish. Proper rubbish. After that, we're live in the arena. It's main event time. You know it's all about the boom, boom. Adam Cole, baby. Adam Cole was out first. Makes his way down in the ring, gets on the apron, boom, gets in the ring. Adam Cole, baby. And then after that, people quit giving a fuck. Orange Cassidy was out next. He was introduced as being from wherever and weighing whatever for this unsanctioned lights out match. So I'm glad we're keeping the vibe light for this lights out unsanctioned match. Before the match got underway, Orange Cassidy crumpled up, I guess to suggest, ooh, I'm serious now. And it's like, your whole life's a joke. You can't. You can't get serious now. Your whole career's a joke. You're a joke. This is a joke. Oh, I'm mad now. No, you're a joke. Like, I'm serious. And Tony Schiavone, we've never seen him do that. Why would he have ever done that? Oh, my God. This whole thing is comical. Partway through this thing, Adam Cole went under the ring and started pulling out a steel chair. And the chair appeared to be stuck. He's pulling, and it's like, chair appeared to be stuck. Eventually, he pulls it out. And on the other end of the steel chair is some guy with his face painted. There was just some guy, some small guy. And he pointed at Adam Cole. Just what the actual... There was some guy, points at Adam Cole. I think the announcer said Danhausen. The fucking guy just, both hands pointed at it, and then he just walked off. Cole pulls the guy from underneath the ring. He points and just walks off. And that was it. He just... What is this? What is this? The match just kept on going, and we never heard from that guy ever again. Why is this happening? So I guess they've just signed a new talent, because that's what this company needs. A new, fresh, independent talent, right? They've signed Kyle O'Reilly, fresh off of his stint in NXT. They've signed Mercedes Martinez. We've never heard from her again. They've signed Brody King. He appears to be showing up rather regularly. Where's Jay Lethal? Where's Leo Rush? Where's Dante Martin? Where are these storylines that they just pop up out of nowhere and then vanish off the face of the earth? No direction. No direction, this show. This show lacks vision, has no direction. Stuff just happens. Doesn't have to make sense. Fuck. He pulls the guy from under. How long was he under there? Was he just this is the main event? Was he under there all night? Holding on to the back of a steel chair? Like, the guy with the face paint, he didn't contribute nothing to nothing. He contributed nothing to anything, and he was just revealed to be here. Then he walked off up the entrance ramp and just left. Went to catering. In the middle of this fiasco, both men's respective factions ran out just to make sure that this was even more of a mess. They're already having this no rules, weapons, blah, blah, blah match that is just overdone in this promotion. It's just overdone. Cassidy got juice on his hand. He was bleeding from his hand. This thing ended with Both men falling off the top of an elevated platform they smashed through a thin piece of wood that was covering a crash pad of sorts. And the referee just counted the pin. Orange Cassidy was on top. He wins. Orange Cassidy's a winner. And the takeaway is I don't know. I'm not sure. Orange Cassidy wins and what? What happens next? Is Orange Cassidy gonna challenge the world champion? Is that where we're gonna? Is that what's happening next? Orange Cassidy versus Adam Hangman Page for the world. Where do we go from here? What does this mean? Orange Cassidy's a goof. He's got there's a limit to what you could do with him. I just sat there thinking, my God, I don't know what any of that was, but this whole thing just looks minor league. It just looks minor. This would never be a main event on a WWE show. It just wouldn't. They've got higher standards than that. Don't get me wrong. The WWE output product is pretty shit, but this just visually, if you just look at what's going on, you go, oh my God, they're just letting anything on TV now and calling it wrestling. Before you look at the WWE and you see this polished product that had some kind of standards about it, but now they're just making shit up. They're just making shit up. So that was the end of the program, and I didn't fall asleep watching this, but I just sat there just scratching my head most of the time, wondering, what is any of this about? What is any of this about? AEW Dynamite Beach Break, and all they did was had two surfboards propped up in the entryway. It's like, it's Beach Break, and it's like, just call it Wednesday Night Dynamite. Like, if you're not gonna make any effort to make this some kind of themed show, then what's the point? What's the point? This just seems so low effort, low budget, minor league, outlaw, and it just seemed like even the producers of this program couldn't really be asked. It's just ugh. But that's that. That was Dynamite. The show's got some soul searching to do. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so, and click that bell to enable notifications. It's the only way to be notified when a new video is uploaded. That is all I got for you on this episode. Right now, I'd like to bid you all adieu. And until next time, I'm D'Lo Jordan. And this right here, this is VENUM.